Well, you know what? There was what I thought was actually. We'll talk about this real quickly. There was another aspect to the game that I thought was really cool, and that was in the beginning. So I want to kind of get into like some of the moments from the Super Bowl, like things, favorite moments. And I think actually one of my favorite moments was actually before the game when they had the Buffalo Bills staff, medical staff, come out with Damar Hamlin onto the field. Like to me, that was really cool to see. Obviously we all know what happened with Damar, and if you don't, the big hit in the Cincinnati game in the regular season, the poor guy passed out on the field, literally was in cardiac arrest, had pretty much flatlined. They re-energized. Come on, Dick. They put the paddles on him. I know I re-energize. Yeah, you don't re-energize from
That's close
something
enough.
like that. You guys know what I meant. I apologize. Right, but my words are like. But anyway, so to see him, smiling and laughing and on the field, Taylor delivered that. Oh, he did though, and we will get into that in just a second, because I do want to talk. We'll talk about that as well. But yeah, that was just my favorite moment. I think one of my favorites, anyways, was just that having DeMar come out with the Buffalo Bills medical staff and them acknowledging that. I thought that was a really cool moment. How about for you, Delilah? You have any favorite moment or two from the game itself, all around the production and all that?
Yeah, I mean, the field was a little shoddy, right? Did you see that? But anyway,
Yeah, the painting, the paint or
I
whatever
don't
was
know
getting in
what that
everybody's way. I
was.
guess. Yeah.
Yikes. No,
Don't
but
know.
honestly, like I thought like one of my favorite moments was
Mm.
when the Eagles got that 2-point conversion, because I honestly thought we'd go into
Yeah.
overtime. Like
Yes.
I thought, all
Yeah.
right, here we go. We're gonna have overtime in the Super Bowl. It's exciting, good times.
Yeah.
I mean, they made that play work. I mean, they got the touchdown and they got the 2 points. I'm like, okay, here we go, overtime. I mean, we know
Yeah.
it didn't happen that way, but it was really exciting because I really thought, okay, cool, we're headed into an overtime in the Super Bowl. And so
Yeah. No.
a lot
Hundred
of us
percent.
were, yeah. So like that was a lot of fun. Like that was really exciting. Um, this wasn't a favorite moment, but it was scary when it wasn't a sack, but when they tackled Mahomes, I'm like, oh my god, like
Hmm.
is he
Oh,
okay?
which play though? Oh,
It was the
the
same
one big
ankle.
hit you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
yeah, because he
yeah.
wasn't sacked at all, by the way. So that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Kudos to that Chiefs O line.
Yeah. For
Okay,
sure.
that's
Yeah.
the
They did
other
Absolutely.
work. Them
exciting
boys did
part.
work.
Okay, they did not allow one sack on Patrick Mahomes. Not one
That's it. Yeah.
against a defense that was known for sacks the whole season. See, that's the whole thing too.
Yes.
Like people forget they
Yeah.
led in sacks. So the fact that
Yeah.
they made sure that man, had enough time and was able to move like we always see him move. The tackles that they got is because they forced him out of pocket, out of the pocket, right?
Yeah.
We saw those,
For sure.
but
Yeah.
those are not sacks, so they actually like did their
Yep.
job. So
Yeah.
kudos to those big guys in the O line, man. Y'all really showed up.
Yeah.
Hey,
For real, for
y'all
real.
should,
Yeah.
listen, Patrick Mahomes, you gotta gift them something, right? Like,
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
sure you
know.
will.
I think every
I don't
single
know.
one of their firstborn children should not have to pay no college tuition.
There you go. Right.
Something,
Mahomes got scholarships for all
but
the kids of the offensive line, right? Like just set up a scholarship
don't
fund for all of
I
them.
mean, don't a lot of guys do that when someone like when their players show up, they like give them like these lavish gifts or
Yeah.
something as a
Oh
thank
Absolutely.
yeah.
you.
Oh, for sure. Quarterbacks
So,
always buy the offensive line gifts for Christmas and
or
stuff.
so
Yeah. Like
yeah,
if some.
but
Yeah.
this time they
Absolutely.
really need to
Yeah.
like step
Yeah,
it up.
he needs to buy him cars or something, right? Just give him nice lavish gifts for all of the players on the offensive line for not allowing him to be sacked. That's true. Pressured, but not sacked, right? Exactly. Handy, how about you? You got some favorite moments uh, from the Super Bowl?
Um. Yeah. Well, I mean, me being a veteran, it's
Oh,
the
true.
national
Yes.
anthem. Every time the national anthem always gets me, and um, my kinfolk have taken to calling Mr. Stapleton Deacon Stapleton after his rendition. Somebody has actually taken and superimposed Pentecostal organ and a whole gospel band behind him.
Really,
Yes,
really.
I will
Okay.
find it and send it to you. It is classic,
I'd like to see
uh,
that. Yeah, I'd like to see
but
that.
there was that, and Nathan also touched on Jalen Hurts. That boy has nothing to hang his head over because he completely balled all the way out. Like he broke records. He tied records. He broke records. And a lot of the thing, I mean, realistically speaking, the fumble. If it weren't for the fumble, we might be talking an entirely different game because
Sure.
Philly's defense did enough. I think if they had been able to drive down and get that one score, that might have been a difference in the momentum of the second half. Because once they dropped that, once he made that fumble and it got a scoop, they got a scoop and score off of it, and they were already hyped anyway. I think that changed the entire shift of the momentum for the rest of the game. But Jalen Hurts has got nothing to hang his head over.
No, I mean, absolutely not. I mean, he 3 touchdowns, which broke a record for players scoring 3 touchdowns, or a quarterback, whatever the record was. He scored 3 of them. So, yeah. I mean, he was the 2-point conversion that tied the game. Like, he really did have and even Patrick Mahomes gave props to Jalen Hurts in an interview, after they said, basically this guy played his lights out,
Yeah. Actually, you know what? My moment outside of the national anthem, because that's, number one right there. But those quarterback sneaks on 4th down were insane.
Yeah.
That offensive, I have never in my life seen an offensive line. I mean, I've seen them do it, but I have never in my life seen them do it for almost an entire game. Like every time they lined up on 4th down, it's like, well, they can go ahead and get this first. It was a wrap.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sirianni's been known to gamble like that all year. So this was no different. Like, I wasn't surprised when they were going for it. Even if one was like 4th and 7, and you're like, really, you're going to go for it, dude? Like, and they got it. And you just go, that's the way he's been all year. They were going for it. Like, they were all in that game. And that's the thing. It does suck sometimes when obviously a team has to lose. But when you think about the game that, like you said, Jalen played, and just the offensive line played really well for the Eagles in a lot of those situations. Again, one of my keys that I talked about like a couple weeks ago was just that, like the O-line versus the D-line. Like, Eagles were favored as far as both lines go in terms of being better than the Chiefs' 2 lines. So the fact that Kansas City came up big again on the offensive line, like you said, no sacks. I mean, there was some pressures, but for the most part, they played fair. They played really well. And obviously, when it counted, they got the push and they got to where they needed to be.
Right.
But
thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.